Hey guys, my name is Rahul Shah and I welcome you once again to this YouTube channel where my goal is simple. It is to make investing accessible and profitable for the average investor. Last week I came across a very interesting quote and it goes something like this. In the stock market, the bulls make money, the bears make money, and the pigs get slaughtered. Now, George Soros, one of the world's most famous traders, he was a big bear on tech stocks in late 1990s. He believed that the tech mania was a fad. Tech stocks were the valuations was in bubble territory, and it was only a matter of time before tech stocks crashed. And therefore, he positioned his trades accordingly. He started shorting tech stocks big time. Stanley Druckenmiller, on the other hand, had an opposite view on tech stocks. He believed that tech was the future, and they had such a long runway of growth ahead of them that even at those levels, a lot of the tech stocks he felt were not trading expensively and that they were not in bubble. Of course, for the first few months, it was Druckenmiller who was proven right as the bubble kept getting bigger and bigger and tech stocks kept going up. But Soros was so convinced of his view that he did not budge. He, in fact, increased his short positions. So round one went to Stanley Druckenmiller, but after a few months, the tech stock started crashing, and eventually it resulted into a big meltdown in tech stocks. The tech bubble did eventually burst, and Soros ended up making a ton of money. But here is the interesting part. Even Druckenmiller made a lot of money when he sold his tech stocks. No, he did not sell his tech stocks, after the crash. He actually bought more after the crash and eventually exited out uh, in 2006 2007 uh, when we had subsequent bull run between 2003 and 2007. So George Soros, the bear, he made money. Stanley Druckenmiller, the bull, he made money. And do you know who were the pigs, the guys who got slaughtered? These guys were investors who first started off with Soros. They invested the money in Soros's fund, but as Soros, lost money in the first few months, as his trades went against him, they moved out of Soros's fund and invested with Druckenmiller. So these guys lost money with George Soros and they invested money in Stanley Druckenmiller's fund. But I think immediately after they bought Stanley Druckenmiller's fund, even that fund started losing money because the crash, the tech bubble burst was at its peak, and the tech stocks were falling left, right, and center. So they did not make money with Druckenmiller either. They lost money with Soros, and they exited right after the crash with huge losses from both Soros and Druckenmiller. So these were the guys who behaved like pigs in the stock market. They did not stick to one plan. They let their emotions uh, come in the way of their clear logical thinking, and as a result they ended up ended up losing money with both Soros as well as Druckenmiller. Now this pig like behavior is extremely common in the stock market. If I were to take an example of the last 5 years in the Indian stock market, I personally know a lot of people and a lot of acquaintances who actually entered the market in late 2018, early 2019, after the Sensex had gone up from 20,000 to 40,000. So they entered right at the peak of the bull market, and when the stock market started crashing earlier this year because of the coronavirus pandemic, after they fell 30-40%, they moved out of the stock market, which is horrible in my view. And this is a typical pig like behavior where they are entering at the peak of the bull market, and just when it is a good time to invest in the stock market, they're actually moving out of the stock market. Now I think one of the most powerful ways of avoiding pig like behavior in the stock market is to vary your allocation between stocks and bonds. If I were to give you an example, say day one you start with 50-50 allocation between stocks and bonds. If you have rupees 100, you invest 50 in stocks, you invest 50 in bonds, and at the end of the first year you again rebalance. So if the stock market has gone up 30-40%, so the stock allocation is increased, the bond allocation is lower, you move money out of stocks into bonds, and then you make it 50-50 again, and then again wait for the next year. If the stock market has fallen 30-40%, so the bond market, the your bond allocation becomes higher, the stock allocation becomes lower, so you switch money from bonds to stocks, you again bring it up to 50-50, and then again wait till next 1 year. This is a very powerful tool because it helps you do the most important thing from a long term perspective, and that is to invest in the stock market after it has fallen 20-30%, and to take some money off the table after it has gone up 30-40%. Most people, they end up doing the opposite. They end up behaving like pigs in the stock market. They invest when the stock market has gone up 40-50-60%, and they take money out of the stock market when it has fallen 40-50-60%. Now another way of avoiding this pig like behavior is what I do across my services. I take a view based on valuations. Say for example, if I think the Sensex is trading at a high valuation of more than 24-25 times, I reduce my allocation to stocks and bring it down to as much as 25%. And if the Sensex is trading at significantly below 25 times, say 22-23 times, I increase my allocation to stocks and take it up to as high as 75%. Now earlier this year, Jan-Feb 2020, I was 75% allocated to cash because I felt the Sensex was expensive, was trading at 29-30 times valuation, and had only 25% in stocks. But as the markets fell 30-40% from the top, the valuations became very attractive, and I immediately switched from bonds to stocks, and the allocation was the other way around. Now I was 65-70% invested in stocks and only 30-35% invested in bonds. And this of course helped me take advantage, helped my subscribers take advantage of the rally that followed. The portfolio I think is up some 35-40% since then. And as things stand now, just last week I recommended sell on a bunch of recommendations after they had gone up 60-70% in 2 to 3 months, and I have recommended my subscribers to bring down the allocation a bit, to bring down the allocation between stocks and bonds 55-60% right now. So from 70-75% allocation to stocks, I think the allocation right now stands to somewhere around 50-55%, and this is of course based on valuations. I'm avoiding a pig-like behavior. I had invested in the stock market after they had crashed because the valuation has become attractive, and I am taking some money off the table after the stock market has gone up a lot, which I think is the right thing to do from a long-term perspective. When will I increase my allocation to stocks again? It depends. If the stock market keeps going higher from here, I'll keep taking some money off the table and putting that into bonds. And if the stock markets were to fall say 20-25% from here, then I'll do the reverse. I'll increase the allocation to stocks and reduce allocation to bonds. So this moving your allocation between stocks and bonds based on valuations and doing the right thing from a long-term perspective is very, very important. It is the single most driver of your long-term returns, if you ask me. And if you already don't have something like this that you do with your portfolio, I would suggest that set aside at least a small percentage of your portfolio towards this strategy, and I'm definitely sure that you will benefit from this approach over the long-term perspective. So that was all from my side today, but before I leave, request to like, comment, share or subscribe the video. Your encouragement means a lot to us, so keep them coming. So I'll see you again next time. Thank you so much.